Hey, this is Samith Pich from samithpitch.com and Pitch TV, and I'm here at the moment with the very lovely and wonderful and beautiful Kate Strong. Now, Kate and I have been on this wonderful journey with hands-on journeys over the past 2 weeks. We've traveled through Siem Reap in Cambodia to Phnom Penh to Saigon, and now we're in Hoi An. And we were looking for a place to do this interview, and we found this beautiful, secluded hotel. No one has kicked us out yet. And so I feel very, very fortunate to have this time with Kate, and I'm going to ask her some really cool questions and let you know more about her. So thank you so much for coming on board.
My pleasure. Thank you for interviewing me.
So a little bit about Kate. So if you don't know about Kate, she will tell you the rest of the story. But Kate is a 2014 world champion in her age group long distance triathlon runner. I can't even run like 2 kilometers. How far did you run?
Well, the run was 20 kilometers at the end of a 120k bike ride and a 4k swim.
Oh my God. Okay. She's also a speaker. She spoke twice on TEDx, and she's also been an entrepreneur in the hospitality industry for at least a decade now. So once again, thank you so much for coming aboard. For people who don't know much about your story, how did you become a world champion triathlon winner?
Through hard work, determination, and making sure that my why was strong. From the day one, I made sure I didn't focus on what to do. I focused on why I was doing it. So when I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning in winter, 2 degrees centigrade, I knew why I was doing this, and that was enough fuel to motivate me to carry on with my training.
So most people find it hard enough to wake up in the morning, and most of them, including myself. But you're from Wales.
Wales.
From Wales, which is like really, really close. It's the exact opposite of where we are now.
Yeah.
And you said your why was really important. What was your why at that time?
Well, I was living in New South Wales. I'd upgraded from Old South Wales.
Okay.
So I was living in the Blue Mountains.
Wow.
So it was pretty cold. I didn't have heating, so I had to light a fire as well to heat my venue where I lived. My why was, I felt I'd compromised my life. I had put everything on a list, and I realised I was at the bottom. Work was first, my dogs were for second, my clients, my business, my partner at the time, everything was ahead of me. And one day I woke up, it took me 8 years to realise I wasn't even on the list, and I wasn't enjoying my own company, and that had to change.
Wow. It's hard to imagine, because at one stage you weren't the amazing specimen of health you are today.
Yeah.
Like, when did you actually get started on this journey?
I started running July 2012.
Oh my God, wow.
I couldn't run 1 kilometre. I almost passed out. My lungs were burning. I had asthma at the time, which I have cured subsequently through nutrition.
Okay.
And I just started to run 1 kilometre. Once I achieved that, I set the goal of running a little faster, not stopping to walk. And it eventually grew into an ultra marathon of 50 kilometres within a year, and then onto Ironman, multiple Ironman.
It just seriously blows my mind, because 2012 you were like a normal person, not doing too much activity, not really fit at all. Other things were important, and then along that way you went to do a marathon, which is like, what is it, 24 kilometers?
A marathon's 42.
42.
But my first running competition was 50 kilometres.
Okay.
I did an ultra marathon. That took me a year to train for.
A year to train. Okay. Where did you decide? Where long did you decide I could become a world champion? How does it happen?
It was actually before any race, any competition at all. It was March 2015. It was my second TEDx talk. I came in to talk about soul food, what nourishes your soul, what's your passion. And I mentioned triathlon, that I wanted to complete Ironman. And I said, well, I'm not going to limit myself. I'm open to potential. And so I'm going to aim to do my best. I don't know what my potential is, because I've never done one. So I'm just going to say I'm going to win it.
You had never done one, and you just said, in front of everybody, you just said you're going to win it. That's amazing.
Yeah,
okay.
At the same time running a guest house in a 65-seater restaurant, working 7 days a week,
Wow.
about 10 hours a day on average as well.
So once again, blows my mind. You were on stage, you just said I was going to do it, and most people would just be happy to do an Ironman. But you actually said you would win it, and then you actually did win it.
Within 11 months of my first long-distance triathlon, I was world champion for my age group. Yeah.
you got to be inspired by that, right? That's inspiring to me. Okay, so here's the other part of the puzzle though. It's not just about the exercise. A lot of it was about nutrition. And you changed your nutrition like 360 degrees, didn't you? And a lot of people would say quite extreme. I don't know. You went to vegan. So can you explain that journey?
Yeah, sure. So when I first started, as you said, I called myself healthy and fit.
Yeah.
Yet I couldn't run, but I looked at perceived wise, and I ate my fruits, vegetables, and my steak, and I drank my wine and cheese, and to all intents and purposes, I felt that. Yet I had asthma, I couldn't sleep properly, I had acne, I felt sad, and so I started to question why was the case, because in theory I was following every self-help book's rule of how to be happy. And so I started to play around with certain fuel. And so firstly was my thinking, the intake of what I see and think and say. And secondly, it turned into food. And the first thing I eliminated was dairy through research, white paper research, and also interviewing doctors, etc., who are independent of companies. I trialed no dairy for 4 days, and my speed in running improved. Firstly, within 4 days, I was running 5 seconds per kilometre faster, over 5 kilometres. It doesn't sound a lot, but in such a short time, with nothing else changing for months, that was proof enough for me. Secondly, I no longer had asthma. I wasn't wheezing, I didn't have any pain in my chest when I was running. I was also breathing deeper. 80% of us breathe in only the top 20% of our lungs. I actually felt pain if I went any lower. Now I can actually get into the lower rib cage, oxygenating my blood, removing the lactic acid, which is usually why we feel pain when we're running in the big muscle groups.
Wow. So and now you're like totally vegan. And what is that as is it a lifestyle choice? Is it a conscious choice, a social choice? What?
It was never meant to be. Initially, I shy away from the word vegan, and I still bristle or do. I mean,
you prefer plant-powered.
Yeah. Vegans, I picture people with dreadlocks who have a very strong opinion on certain topics and are quite angry.
Yeah.
I like to think of myself as
the exact opposite.
Yeah. So I'm plant-based whole food. Okay. So my goal is to be healthy. I found the journey on plant-based whole food, which is veganism to some extent, to fulfill my healthy dream. Yeah. Yet I'm not here to convert the world. Yeah. I want you to be healthy and find the path for you too. Yeah. So this works excellently for me, and I'm very happy to be a vegan, though my goal is to be healthy.
I loved how you did it. It was quite a scientific, rigorous approach. You just had a hypothesis. I think it could be that. You then tested it out. You saw what the results were, and it was very hard not to see that was what was doing. It was great problem solving for yourself.
Yeah.
And it was all for performance. So that's really cool. You were talking to me earlier a bit about the strong pyramid. Can you explain that for us?
Yes. Well, just to explain health as one example, I imagine an inverse pyramid sitting on the point. At the top, if we go up to the top, everyone says we want to be healthy.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask the secondary question, which is, do you follow a diet? You get a binary answer, yes or no. And then you go into lifestyle choices such as paleo, there's fastings, there's certain times and intermittent
diets.
And veganism or vegetarian or pescatarian. Then you get further down the points, and you can have 1,000 or 1,000,000 points. There's no right number for that as well. But they all ultimately lead up to the health. Yeah. And so it's the ultimate goal is to find your correct point. Yeah. I love the pyramid because the triangle is the strongest symbol or structure I'm ex-engineer, it's the strongest structure you can build with. Yep. And it also opens up potential to work with other people and keep us learning constantly without believing there's just one straight line to health. It isn't. Yeah. So
you're this amazing plant-based triathlon. What's the next thing you want to tackle, or you're happy with your journey so far?
I'm constantly evolving, and I think that's part of life, is to constantly learn. This year I was honoured to compete in 5 World Championships for triathlon in different distances from sprint, so I'm very happy to see that plant power also works for short power,
Yeah.
not just long-term endurance.
Yeah.
Then my goal is now to start world records. So I have a world record attempt in cycling,
Oh
1
my
hour
God.
run, next month, so 5 weeks' time.
Yep.
And after that, I hope the story inspires people. I'm getting a documentary shot in Wales, my old South Wales this time, my birth country. And yeah, it's to start asking conscious questions and empowering others to make positive change in their life.
Wonderful. For people who might be considering, trying out vegan or, just going that way, what would be your 3 biggest tips to help people, make it maybe a bit of an easier transition? Oh, and in particular, we've been on holidays for the past 2 weeks together. It hasn't been easy. I could see sometimes you were going, oh my God, what do I do? Can you help us out? What would be your 3 biggest tips at the moment?
First one, most definitely planning. If you know you're going to a restaurant with friends, call in advance as a courtesy. Let the chef know your dietary requirements and be flexible.
Yeah.
So planning is the first one. The second one is be prepared. When I go to friends' houses, I always have a bag of nuts with me, or a sort of simple salad or a side dish that I know will be a complete meal for me. And the same if I'm going out for a holiday with you for 2 weeks. For the first week I did bring enough snack food to ensure that I got my vitamins, minerals and all the essential fatty acids and carbs, etc. from my snacks. And the third one is actually be flexible. It isn't a mainstream diet yet.
Yeah.
And so some days when I went out, I made 100% effort to, in my best Asian language, Cambodian,
Yeah.
I think I was trying to speak, which I unfortunately don't, to ask, does this contain any dairy, any milk, any cheese, does this have meat? And the answers was always no. The meal came out, it was the only meal on the dish that was proven vegetarian, and it had, well, firstly it had contained cheese.
Yeah.
I think you were with me at the
Yes,
time.
I was with you. We had Japanese.
And it was a curry, and while talking about the cheese, I then picked out a bone.
Yeah.
And I had 2 choices. I either don't eat and I'm hungry for the rest of the day and potentially could fall ill due to me being too hungry and open to dis-ease, or eat it.
Yeah.
And I chose the latter.
Yeah.
And so I'm 100% dedicated to my journey, and I'm also 100% dedicated to my health. And I'm not going to eat and digest beating me up, the negativity, the hatred of myself, and the regret and the remorse.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy the meal and know I made my 100%.
Yeah.
And so those are the 3 tips I can give.
Lovely, fantastic free trick. So thank you so much. Now, if people want to know more about you, follow your journey, and you've got this amazing Snapchat thing you've got going on. I follow it all the time. How do people get in contact with you?
I've got a very simple website. My name is Kate Strong, and the website is strongkate.com.
Yep.
And feel free to drop me an email, kate@strongkate.com. I'm also on Facebook, Strong Kate, Twitter, StrongKate1, Instagram, StrongKate1, LinkedIn, and also Snapchat is my newfound favourite platform at the moment.
She's a Snapchat queen at the moment. Okay, so thank you so much. I look forward to our other adventures together. And if you want to get in touch with Kate, make sure you do. She's an amazing woman, and she's going to be helping me with my health as well. So hopefully I look a bit better in the next couple of weeks and months. Okay, cheers. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi.